What's good, XRP Army? We have some exciting updates from Brad, but especially from Stuart, the Chief Legal Officer over at Ripple. One by one after the other, calling out the SEC and Gary Gensler. So hit that subscribe, hit that like. We have some updates. Former SEC Crypto Enforcement Chief Christina Littman said the US SEC may not appeal Judge Torres' decision on XRP. SEC's decision to close the Ethereum investigation bring Ripple versus SEC lawsuit into focus. Ripple Chief Legal Officer Stewart pointed out significant shortcomings in the SEC's recent decision and regulatory clarity. Finally, XRP price climbs 1%. I mean, I don't know how that's a key highlight. And looks to build bullish momentum in the short term. Links to everything's in the description. Garlinghouse says you'll hear this a lot more in the next few months in the US. Candidates will only gain votes for being pro-crypto and absolutely lose them for being anti-crypto. There's no downside to advocating for clear rules of the road for one of the US's fastest growing industries. And citing this, 150 mil is not that much money in crypto, but in politics, in terms of donations and whatnot, it's massive. So this is where them bending the knee to the dollar is actually going to be beneficial for crypto, because we can now leverage that, and the leverage is now in our hands. And so we'll have to see what happens when whoever gets elected. Hopefully we push for advocacy of clarity and bring in all the business, let the economy roar, let these industries come back home. Hopefully we do see that and other nations will follow. Stewart says a big win for consensus. We saw how the sales of Ethereum are not securities. Though the question remains, does this mean the SEC thinks consensus's offers and sales of ETH are not securities transactions, and or that ETH itself is not a security? What will Gensler say now if asked? What is the status of MetaMask and staking? There's no way for a government to regulate. And another way of looking at this, he's saying, like, guys, like, y'all not making this clear. There's no way the government can regulate, and they will have to bend the knee and be pro-crypto. It's all falling apart, and in Stewart's own words, as he said a few weeks ago, Gary overplayed his hand, and choosing Ripple to take to court was a mistake, a very costly mistake, but marketing also beneficial for Ripple, and also leading with compliance first. We see how important that is. And so I think they did overplay their card, and lo and behold, this moment was coming, guys. It feels like forever, like 4+ years, almost a half a decade, Ripple has been pulled through this lawsuit. So a conclusion coming sooner than later, please. And a lot of people are speculating that it's imminent, given everything else going on with consensus, with the positive news against SEC. And I think that it's coming sooner than we think. Many speculate July will have a conclusive statement from Judge Torres and Ripple. Gensler repeated his crypto is a bunch of Wild West lawbreakers. Nonsense. Despite the SEC court losses, bipartisan rebukes in Congress, and the votes of 50 million plus crypto holders at stake, Gensler remains committed to killing crypto in the US. And this is one of those things that it's interesting, because I saw a post recently by Larry Fink, BlackRock, saying that if it was just up to him, there wouldn't be any of these like issues like, the money laundering and this and that. And fiat has those issues 100-fold. So it's an interesting paradox. This SEC is again touting a big penalty, but the SEC actually will end up a creditor in bankruptcy court. See BlockFi. The SEC has become a show regulator, chasing headlines rather than good policy. Now here he's referring to Do Kwon and Terraform Labs agreeing to pay the SEC a combined $4.5 billion. And he's right. When you start to peel the onion, them ending up as a creditor and the shenanigans, and does this actually benefit the people? No. Does this benefit investors? No. And in the end, it's just going to become chasing headlines rather than pushing for clarity, pushing for industry, entrepreneurship, small businesses, pushing for, what those good fundamentals are when people come to the West to let a business blossom. Instead, we have this trash, lack of clarity, and then not know, and then they come and got you later. And honestly, guys, Ripple, anyone I spoke to who was close to Ripple, Bob Wade, when he was explaining Ripple's decisions to me, they've been leading with compliance first from the beginning. This isn't like a 2024 narrative spin. They've been doing compliance from the very beginning. So I find it quite bizarre that the SEC would choose to put Ripple under the bus. That was the worst decision for the SEC, and frankly, it's becoming the best decision for crypto. In yesterday's testimony, Gensler kept talking about crypto asset securities. That's a made-up term, found nowhere in the law by a deeply flawed, unelected bureaucrat. He also implied that all crypto executives were criminals if you own crypto and have had enough votes. So guys, make sure whatever you do, whether it's Twitter, whether it's whatever, just have your voice, heard, big or small, whatever actions you do. Don't underestimate the power of one vote, one decision. And that's it really, guys. It's a pretty quiet day on Ripple's Twitter. David Schwartz never seems to be tweeting anything relevant to the project, which frankly, that pisses me off, but it is what it is. I mean, it's just his personal Twitter. Ripple, one thing, guys, a complaint from me is that I'd love to see more active communication between Ripple and the community. I see a lot of disgruntled community, and I feel I can kind of sympathize with them because sometimes it feels like Twitter on Ripple tweets like as if it's the cadence of like a dentist clinic. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'd be nice if there was more engagement, genuine community fostering, because the community is not, it's so scattered. It's really bizarre. I can't really seem to pin down when and where exactly the size and the fragmenting of the community of Ripple. But let me know, guys, like, you all still optimistic on XRP? I have a considerable bag. It's one of my top holdings. I check in periodically, and I think the future will be positive for Ripple. I think Judge Torres will give a positive outcome for Ripple. XRP is not a security, and I think they will not end up paying much of a big fine. I think it'll be less than 10 million at the very end. But already they've came down drastically from the 2 billion, but still they shouldn't be paying 100 mil. This is just ridiculous. The SEC has overstepped considerably, and I think XRP will perform well, albeit a late bloomer, when everyone's just had enough. Because I know that we're reaching those levels when even I'm like getting like super disgruntled with XRP. So know that when that happens, when it reaches lows, and there's blood on the streets with the market, that's usually when stuff starts to slowly run. And when it runs fast. It doesn't need much time. But up until then, it can be months, years of just like pain. So let me know what you guys think about the future of XRP. I think it'll do well. We did quite well considering that we were in the middle of a lawsuit and we still reached close to all-time highs in 2021, albeit not new all-time highs. So even if we reach 2021's all-time highs, I'd be happy. But with that being said, I think that I will probably exit my position. I don't know if 100%, but I probably will exit my position in the 2021 peaks, whenever that is for Ripple. My guess will be a much later pump. Brad Garlinghouse did cite a $5 trillion market cap for global crypto by the end of Q4. We'll see if that bears true by the end of Q4. I think Q4 and beyond will be bullish for crypto. But let me know what you guys think. What's the price predictions you have for XRP? Are you bullish? Are you bearish? Why? Why not? And hit that subscribe, hit that like. I'll see you in the next Angry Crypto Show.